Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to another episode here on Gladiator Disc Golf. I'm so excited about today's episode because we're talking about something I've never spoken about on this channel before. Today we're talking about the elbow. Oh, that kind of hurt a little bit. So in today's video, we're going to go over two things. The first, why the elbow is so important. The second, a drill that you can do at home, regardless of the equipment you have, to help you focus on getting that elbow up so that you can have better distance, accuracy, and consistency. One of the most common things we see with forming a power pocket is kind of getting this box with the shoulders, wrist, and elbow. If you're like me, you always thought you kind of come swing out this way. And the issue with that is that your elbow tends to drop when you do that. What you're going to notice is that when you pop the elbow up, you actually give the disc the opportunity to stay on the line and allow your body to move in its natural motion. Now, if you're like me, you initially thought that this seemed a little awkward. I mean, popping my elbow up doesn't seem normal. Well, look back at this clip of Kade helping me with my elbow from the 11 tips video. If you haven't seen that, you want to check it out after this one for sure. So in this quick clip that we're looking at, we see that Kade is working on this pulling exercise, and as I'm pulling, without thinking about throwing the disc, my elbow pops up. It starts out flat coming across my chest, and then as the disc enters this zone of momentum and the cascading effect that we talk about in that video, my elbow is up. And so really, it's your body's natural mechanics to pop that elbow up when you throw. Okay, so we've talked about why it's so important, but what is a drill that you and I can do at home? Well, thanks to Propull for helping me out with this. By no means did they sponsor this video, but I recently got a Propull because I knew I needed to work on this. And I gotta tell you, this setup is awesome. I've been using it. It really helps you get your form dialed in and starts to feel really comfortable. When you do it correctly, the bands make everything feel smooth. When you throw incorrectly with the Propull, you're going to feel that extra tension. And that's great because those bands have that elongated tension that a lot of people love them for working out. Whereas when you're just throwing the disc, it happens in a split second, so it's hard to feel that tension. But with the bands, you actually can feel it. Now here's the thing. The Propull is great, and it's an excellent tool for helping you dial in your form. But by no means is it the only option out there. If you notice, it's really just a disc and a bungee. And so if you look here, I made this a couple years ago and I've had it since then. Now, the quality of it is different. This is literally made from scratch. I took an old disc, drilled a hole through the top, took some fabric, and then took an exercise band. Now, this obviously didn't cost a whole lot to make because I already had the tools. If you were to go out and buy these things, you might as well just buy a Propull. But if you already have this lying around, this is an option. Another option is to just use the band itself. Like you see me doing with the bungee, with the Propull. If you have a bungee lying around or you have an exercise band, you can do the very same thing. What you're wanting to do in this drill is very simple. You want to first start out by getting in that athletic position like we talked about in the last video about getting the gliding effect. Now, I'm not going to touch on the gliding effect a whole lot in this video, so if you want to know more about that, make sure you check it out here. As you're using the gliding effect and as you're working on that drill and implementing it with something like a Propull or a bungee or exercise band, allow that momentum that you're building with your hips, engaging your hips, to really help you pull your hand or the disc across your chest. Remember, we don't want to be using our arm for this. That defeats the purpose. It's all about using our hips and our lower body to get the disc into the most powerful pocket and then propelling it from there. So obviously, after getting into the athletic position, the next step is crucial. You want to over-exaggerate getting that elbow up. Now, I know what you're saying. Well, is that going to cause bad form? If you do it for an extended period of time, like months and months on end, yes. But one of the things that's hard about muscle memory is that muscle memory is going to fight any changes you make. So you actually have to overcorrect mentally so that you can end up having the right position. Now, by no means do you want to throw like this. Like, that is just not going to be beneficial, and that's going to cause another slew of injuries and pain. But when you over exaggerate as you're working on breaking this old muscle memory, instead of coming like this, your elbow's going to end up in the correct position. And so you kind of want to just mess with that a little bit. You're not really focusing on throwing. At this moment, you really can just focus on your arm and getting used to this feeling. And then the third step, and this is basically it, 3 steps, is you want to put it all together, the gliding effect with the elbow coming up. By no means should you be doing an X step at this point. You should still be in a standstill doing this because we want to minimize other factors in the throw that could potentially throw your timing off. So stay in an X step and just continue working with this motion. And these 3 things, the athletic position, gliding the hips, and getting the elbow up, is actually all going to help you remain consistent in your throw. Well, that's basically it, everybody. I hope you found this information helpful. I hope you learned why getting your elbow up is so important, and I hope the short little drill that I taught you helps everybody who's watching this. If you enjoy this video, all I'm asking is that you please like it. It helps me so much and lets me know that you want to see more content like this and more drills. Until next time, everyone, have a great round.